The brazing also is using the heat applications, but for the heavy construction work this will be, okay, this will be for the heavy construction, this will be heavier construction work, and this will be light application purpose. You can see this. I want to do the soldering here, a soldering gun, the tip, it will be developing the heat, and at that particular zone this soldering wire will be put, and what happens, the soldering wire will be melted down without melting the base material, without melting the base material. I am not discussing about the welding, we can see them later. Okay, we can see them later. And what are the advantages of brazing? Very important thing is that I want to have a very good strong joint. I have two dissimilar materials. There is no other option. I have to go for the brazing only. Welding cannot be done. Welding cannot be done for the two dissimilar materials. The bond will be very neat. The bond developed will be neat enough. Okay, you can see the surface will be very good, and it will be stronger enough. Okay, and another one important thing is that the metallurgical structure of the metal will not be changed. Here, it will be heated up, but in case of welding, it will be changing the microstructure of the metals, because the metal itself will be molten. It will become molten. Okay, and another one important thing is that as compared to the soldering, the more area can be covered. It is not possible to cover the more area in the soldering. It is not possible. Okay, these are some important advantages. There will be some disadvantages always. Okay, and I told you just now, the bond or the strength of the bond which is created by this brazing will be very good or better than the soldering, but at the same time, if we compare it to welding, the bond created by this brazing will be slightly weaker as compared to the welding. Okay, and when you are going to work at or above the some high temperature, for example, I have made a brazing about around 650 degrees centigrade. If I am going to use this particular component, this component is made out of the brazing applications. If you are going to use it for a higher temperature application wherein the temperature will be more than 650, then the brazing material, the filler material will be melted down, and the two components which have been joined by the brazing will be separated out. So we have to be very, very careful while you are going to use them at high temperature. Okay. And another one important thing, this third point which I have written is not mostly applicable as per my knowledge, because in the soldering, brazing, and the welding, in all the three cases, we have to remove the rust, we have to remove the dirt, we have to remove the oil, all this, so that the surface will become clean, and the nut, whatever the joint we are going to get, will be very stronger one. Okay, and if you are going to use, if you are not going to remove the flux material after the brazing, flux material is what? Borax. Okay, once after you are going to do the make the brazing joint, what happens? The flux which will be having lesser density, it will be floating on the surface of the molten metal. Finally, after solidification, it will be making a small cover over the brazed part. If you are not going to remove it properly, cleanly, what happens? The rust formation takes place. This is one of the disadvantages. Okay, we have to be very, very careful. And another one important thing is that if you are going to compare this with the welding or soldering, this will become a very expensive method, because we are going to use the alloys of aluminum, copper alloys, and copper, silver, and silver alloys for the different applications. What happens? The filler material will be costlier as compared to the soldering wire or the welding rod. This is one of the disadvantages of using these. Okay, and you can see the differences. The filler material used in the soldering is the solder. In this Brazing, it is called as pelter. The melting point will be the base metal will be heated up to 450 degrees centigrade within this, and in brazing it will be more than that. And the joint produced by using soldering will be weaker one. As I told you, it will be limited to only the electronic system circuits, okay, wherein the load is not much important criteria, okay. And the brazing, the stronger joint will be formed, and flux will be resin here, and flux will be borax here, and it is very economic process, and it is not economic process as the filler metal will be very costlier. And these the soldering will be very much suitable for the thin metal sheets. The thin metal sheets which will be ranging from 0.2 to 1 mm thickness. Therein, if you cannot able to go for the brazing or welding, you cannot do them. If you want to do the welding or brazing, the sheet themselves they will be melting out. So in such cases, you are going to use this soldering. And these brazing and welding will be quite suitable for the large thickness. If the thickness is very good, around visible thickness around 3 to 4 mm, there it is advisable to go for the brazing application only. These are the some of the differences we can find, okay, between these. And here, for your additional interest purpose, I have shown some of the soldering kit. The soldering kit, it will be very lesser in expensive. It will not be expensive. Within 500 rupees, you will get it. It is a soldering wire, okay, and it is the soldering iron. It is called, and this is to keep the gun. Okay, it is a gun stand. It is a cutter. Okay, how much ever you want, you can cut down. And once you put into, if we are going to use the AC current, what happens? The heat will be developed at the tip of this, and we are going to keep this, okay, along with, and the soldering wire will be melted. Just like this here, you can see the soldering wire will be melted. Okay, this is about